I'm Seth Mazibuko. I represent the class of 1976. It was not a very good morning. And it's a morning where, some of us even today feel that, we led children out of the classroom only to be killed by their fathers. And I say their fathers because the people who opened up fire on children were parents. And even if there was something that children of the day did that was wrong, they did not deserve a bullet. These were the kids who only carried books. So that morning it was the battle of the bullet versus the book. As students, the group, the Mashinini group, was coming, and our students came up to welcome them. Behind the theater's group, there was a group of police who then, even without giving us any form of notice, started shooting tear gas canisters. And the greatness of God, call it that way, or gods of Africa, were so good to us that the fumes of the tear gas were actually blowing back to them, not to us. This was a match made in heaven. And the next thing that they did, having not been able to get, more of that tear gas into us, they then unleashed dogs. And again, the gods of Africa were with us. We used stones to kill police dogs. It was not in our plan to even do that, but behind them, there was then students from Naledi High who were then coming to join the march. So they thought we were sandwiching them. And actually, more than anything else, that's actually when they started opening, bullets and fire on us. They then moved from Vilagazi Street, turned into Muema Street. And that is where, as they were moving, now they're shooting live bullets. That was that moment that saw the death of Hector Peterson and many others. I remember the day, I think we counted about 44 or so, or even more, bodies. It is the pain of us as leaders, of seeing children that you led out of the classroom, seeing their bodies being scattered all over. That, to me, will forever live with me. I know journalists, you guys ask this question, and let me answer it before you answer. You even ask that question as to how do I feel. I'm still in pain. I am still trying to live with it. If there's one regret of that day, of June 16, that sits with me all the time, is that I led black children and leading them right into a bullet. That still sits with me. And I think I'm still going to take time to have to delete that, in my mind and heart. But more than that, the unity of students, of young people, the brevity of young people, the the spirit of wanting to swallow a bullet for the sake of getting the education system under apartheid corrected, to do away with apartheid. You know, the songs that we sang those days, and the main song being Senzenina, Senzenina. Even today when that song is being sung, it sits and then it reveals, it opens up those wounds. But the most, what I would say was the most powerful part of that march of students, of that demonstration, was seeing young people leading a struggle that called upon the community, called gogos to come forward and give us water to make sure that tear gas doesn't affect us that much. Seeing the Mkulus, you know, wanting to hide us. Seeing, there's a gogo that still say, whenever, you know, we meet around Orlando West, will say to me, "Hey, Seth, where's my dress? I gave you my dress on June 16. And so I was a girl that day because I had to disguise this old lady. So for old ladies to give us dresses was also the commitment to show that now this was not only the struggle of young people, it was the struggle that went beyond just the struggle of the classroom. It became also the struggle of the community and of wanting to do away with apartheid. So to me, yes, there's a painful side of the day, there's a powerful side of the day. Actually, it was, those days the slogan was power, power. So it was really people taking control of, you know, their situation. Children and young people taking control of their classrooms, of their schools, and of their community. And I must say, that is on the powerful side of 1976. And the painful side, I explained, that it still lives with us. And again, the struggle of 1976 was not the fires, just the spark of the fires was in Soweto. But you must remember that that very evening, the fires were in Alex. That very evening, the fires were in the East Rand, now Eguruleni. The fires went down a day or two after that to KwaZakhele in the Eastern Cape. It went down to Kwanyanga, Walanga in Cape Town. It even went to the University of Zululand. However, there was an incident, very interesting one, and I always like to mention this incident, at Naledi High. The first confrontation of the police with students was at Naledi High, when Enos Ngutjana was a student there, had written a letter to the then minister, MC Botha, was the minister of Bantu Affairs. Bantu Affairs and Bantu Education. So that minister was simply a Bantu man. And then, so this, he wrote a letter, representing, one could say, most of the students of the time, of being students from South African student movement, rejecting the introduction of Afrikaans. Then the minister, instead of talking to Enos Ngutjana, he sends police to go and arrest Enos Ngutjana and arrest Enos Ngutjana right at Naledi High at the school in the class, take him out of the classroom. Wow. Students of Naledi High showed the police one or two things. Whilst they were still inside there, the students started burning the car, the police car. And so by the time they came out there, they did not have a car. So that was one incident of 1976. It's one of the stories that are untold about 1976. So yes, there were, June 16 was not one night a decision, And it was students had planned the day. And let me again reinforce this. There was no politician, big name involved. It was young people, it was children, and add something black like me. We brought 1994 as children. 1994, we actually the children of 1976. If there was a victory to be claimed, they coerced this government, they forced the government of the day, we understand, to open up prison and speak to Mandela. They forced the government of the day to open up borders and call on Oliver Tambo and those who were call APLA, call MK, call Azanla to come and talk. It is the blood of the 1976 children that actually started inviting the apartheid government to speak to those leaders of those days. And again, the words of Oliver Tambo, 1976, to prove this, caught us with our pens down. That's what the leader said, because they were not expecting that now children could do what we did. You understand where I'm coming from? Now, I'm trying to say to you, if it wasn't 1976, there would never be 1994. The Constitution that people are talking about today, it was not written in a pen, it was written in the blood of children of Soweto and the country.